Hello everyone, I am Rod and I am the game design instructor for the Academy of Entertainment Arts over at Dixie Hollins High School. If you are one of my students, it's Mr. Flowers to you, and welcome to this video tutorial. Hey guys, I decided I would do a very quick rundown on how to texture the door frame, just in case you're stuck and you're not sure how to do it. So I already set up my Photoshop document. I pulled my door frame UVs in, and I put those on separate layers. I have a door frame, I've got a background. I went ahead and lock these, and I will create a new color layer. I'll put that in between. And I'm going to make a similar color to the way that I did the wall or the door last time, except your door frame doesn't have to be the same color as your door. Maybe they match, maybe they don't. I will do a slightly different color for my door frame. So I'm going to do like a light blue, just to be different. Like a very light, faint blue. And I don't know how that's going to look. It might look dreadful. We never know. And I'll grab a dark blue just in case. I'm not sure which one I really want to go with. And what you could do is you could just do an outline of this and only do the UVs. I like doing as much texture space as I can, so I will do just a fill. So make sure my color, I'll fill this. Ooh, it has a little bit bright. Let me swap that to the dark one. The dark one's a lot nicer. And I will do a speckle, so filter. I say speckle, but it's really just adding noise. There we go. And I will go into my filter gallery again and choose something that I like. And note paper looks decent. I don't want to be take too long on here. But let's see what crosshatch looks like. Crosshatch might look good for like fabric. Let me grab spray, dark. Let's try some artistic ones. Colored pencil. Yeah, I think I'll go back to, was I on sketch, and then note paper seemed to be a good type, and throw that in there. So this is just, sorry, can't talk, too much caffeine. This just fills my background layer. But what I want to do is very similar like I did with the door. I want to create like a groove here that runs down the seams of this to kind of make it look like there's two levels of the door frame. The door frame has two sections to it. So to do that, I'm going to hit Edit. Free transform. I'm going to drag this down. And again, you don't have to scale this. I do this just because I like to see what's going on. And I'll just hit the checkbox. I will take my selection tool and I will select the UVs. Coming down to the bottom of the door frame right about there. And I know you probably can't see because of that blue, but I will hide the blue real quick. And you can see that I have the middle of the center edge of the door frame going down to the floor. Okay. Turn that on, and I will hold Control C, and then I'll do Control V. And I will add a drop shadow. Actually, I'm going to do, if I do it a different way, it might work better. Because a drop shadow will make it look like it's on top of this. And I don't want to look like it's on top because that wouldn't look natural. The inner shadow might work a little bit better. Hit this at 0. Ah, jerk. 0, and I'm going to hit this distance to 0. And already it looks like it's sunk in. Add my spread. And what choke does kind of pushes up and makes it more solid. I'm just going to bring the choke a little bit. And I think this would have worked a lot better on the other part of the door. But we have that. Because this is the effect that I wanted. I wanted to have this bevel and then this be a solid piece. But this on the door frame will not be solid because this is going to be cut through. So on the UVs, this won't even show up. But this little dimple will, which is what I want. I will hit OK. Go ahead and name this front frame bevel. Copy this. I'll do back frame bevel. And I will just move this over. Make sure you have your move tool selected. And I will center that up as best I can. Okay. Now, unlike what I did with the door, where I left this as a color on here, that was actually a mistake on my part, because I don't want the shadows being cooked onto this. I want the shadows to be a product of our bump map. So I'm going to hide these for now. I'm going to turn off the UVs, and I will save this out. File, save as, inside my texture maps, and I will save this as the door frame PSD. File, save as, and I will do the targa. So this is going to be door frame. So T underscore door frame 2, because it's for my second door, and texture map. Again, this is a texture map, not just a plain texture. D for diffuse. And OK. And now what I'm going to do is I will turn these on, and I will copy all of them. I'll put these 3 into a group. That's going to be my door frame fuse. So I should just have these bevel pieces out, and I should have a nice safe copy of my door frame hidden in here. These 3 I will merge together. And then I will make this black and white. Image adjustments, black and white. There we go. So what I want to do here is, again, adjustments, image adjustments, levels, and we can just push these up. I will make this very, very crisp. Bring in the lights some. Okay. So that will create this indent on the frame. And I will do a subtle blur on this so it's not too sharp. Blur, Gaussian blur. I think 3% might be a little high on this one. Let me do 2. Okay. All right. File, save as. Targa, door frame, bump. let's test those in Maya real quick. So I have my door frame. Go ahead and drop a Lambert on it. I'll call this door frame texture. Throw on my color. Door frame, there you are. Looks like a horrible apartment complex, you know? It actually looks a little bit like styrofoam. Alright. Let's go back to our material attributes. Grab our bump map. Hit the little arrow. Let's grab our bump map. Hit the little arrow right here, and we will drag this down so it's just subtle. And that's what we're going for on the door, is to give the impression that there's a rim here, but we actually ended up baking on the shadow, which was not the intention. So we can always go back and fix that on the door itself, but there's just that subtle dip. Okay. And I will do that. On the door itself, I'm going to go ahead and fix that. Here's my door. So real quick, I'm just going to nuke this door bump. And I will just duplicate my door group. Inside my original door group, I'm going to turn off these panels. And then and I will save this out for my door texture. File, save as, Targa, door texture diffuse. I'm going to go back into my door copy. And I really don't like these shadows here. The way I'm going to do this panel, actually, sorry, I'm going to delete this door copy. I'll do this inside the door. Let me get rid of these 3 panels. I'll open up this one, and I'll take off the bevel and emboss, and I'll go back to inner shadow because I like the results of this better than the bevel emboss. So my inner shadow distance I'll bring back down to 0. I'll bring my size up a little, bring up the choke, and then I'll hit OK. And this one I'll copy to the other one. So grab my move tool, hold Alt on the keyboard, click and drag it down. And it would be good if I could see my UVs, so I'll turn my UVs back on. Alt, click and drag. Alt, click and drag. Okay. And what I could do for each of these panels is I could actually darken them just slightly so they look like they're recessed further in. So if I grab, I don't think it'll let me do them as a group. It won't. Let me just try one of these. I'm going to grab one of these panels, image, adjustments. I'll do brightness contrast, see if I can bring down the brightness a little. So I'll do minus 50 on the brightness. I'll do that for each one of these. Next one up, adjustments, brightness, contrast. I'll do minus 50. The next one, image, adjustments, brightness, contrast, minus 50. Image, adjustments, brightness, contrast, minus 50. That way it gives a subtle, very subtle, indentation in here. Okay. I will now copy my door, turn my original off, bring my copy up so that I can see it above my layer there. I will right click on the copy. I will merge the group so it is a single image. Turn my UVs off. And now I will do this as a black and white, so image, adjustments, black and white. Hit OK. Image adjustments will go to levels, and I will push the levels down to darken this image a little bit more. It's probably going too dark. I don't want to go too far on my input values at this point because I don't want this to go super crazy dark because that's just too far. So I'm going to go about that far, but I will use my outputs to kind of gray this off, bring my whites down some. Just so it's not too harsh, and I think that'll work. Okay, so there's that, and I will resave this one as my bump for my door. Targa, where are you at? Door, bump, save. Go back into Maya. We can reload those. I can grab my door, object mode, grab the door, go into material attributes. And if I click on the little material thing, it should automatically update the material. And you can see there's our door with that little indentation. It's subtle, but it works. Yay. And we don't have that shadow baked on. The only shadow that is produced is when the light changes and it creates a natural shadow, which is what we were going for the first time. Okay. Oh, looks like I baked that out. We turn the bump off, doorknob. I'm just going to resave. I didn't save the silver piece for my door. Targa. Make sure I save it as my diffuse. Material attributes. Add an update. Oh, good lord. I saved that on there. The downside about moving quickly and having caffeine. Let's try this one more time. Dink. There we go. Alrighty. So when I see you again, we should be putting these into Unreal. We'll see you next time.